Hi, yeah, I'm Sarah from the upcoming in the UK. What I was thinking about was how your two characters arguably had the biggest arcs from the beginning of the first season until the beginning of the second. Could you just tell us a bit about how you see your characters now as we go into the second season and what it's been like working together on your two characters who obviously started kind of adversarial and then obviously came closer together? I'll start with you, Mia.
I think we definitely see Shelby the happiest we've ever seen her in season two. Her and Tony are a union, and it's a beautiful one, and it's something that Erana and I really enjoyed creating and being a part of. And we would always say every time we got to do scenes together, it was just like breath of like a sigh of relief, because we just knew each other so well, and we were still getting to know these characters, especially as they evolve into this sort of connection, this relationship. But it's been a real thrill.
Yeah, and I'll say, I mean, for Tony, she's the calmest that she's ever been throughout the whole season. And yeah, as Mia said, like we get to work with each other so often and so intimately. And I mean in a way that because oftentimes it's just us that we get to do scenes together, so we get to work so closely that I find that there's almost so much of my characterization now is wrapped up in the relationship that we've created, especially in this new season, because we've both changed so much, and it's very far from the audition tapes that we put down like 3 or 4 years ago, so it's so cool growing with each other and our characters.
So one of the things I loved about the first season was that it was so female focused, and it very much captured what I felt like was the female experience, but in a very kind of nuanced and varied way. And I think that's why so many people could relate to it, because there was something in each of the characters we could relate to. So I was slightly apprehensive for it moving, introducing kind of the boys' island. But then it's like a real pleasant surprise to see how actually it's through a similar lens. It's not all about kind of being hyper masculine, but actually showing kind of all these different men and all their vulnerabilities and insecurities. So was that also something that was exciting for you to see?
100%. I was so excited for the audience as well to fall in love with these characters, because I totally understand the apprehension initially, but I think once they see the show, you'll see that these are just people like all of us that have lives that they've lived, and they have challenges, and they have things that they're have shame around or hide from or run away from. So they're just human. And I think when you watch season 2, you'll be I guess pleasantly surprised that there are these people that you just fall in love with. It's hard because it's hard not to fall in love with anyone once you know their story. I think that would be really hard. So I'm looking forward to that response.
I think also like starting off with, the young women that we had, and then being able to have that be a space where we invite male stories into is kind of a nice flip of the narrative. And so I think that's an exciting thing that people can, if they are feeling apprehensive about it, it's like, well, they're being invited into a female space with the same creators that created season 1, and with their incredible brains. And as Mia said, like, I think it also opens up the conversation for like the things that the women go through on the island, like are fundamentally also like just human issues that people experience, and then also seeing that paralleled, and not like that, but seeing that parallel with what the men go through. I don't know, makes you think about things a little differently, which I loved.
And next up, we'll have Martina.
Hello, my name is Martina from Dani in Series Italy. It's so nice to meet you girls. My first question for you is, what's the main lesson you think your characters learned in season 1, and how did they apply it in season 2?
Main lesson. I'm going to say maybe Tony learned to control her emotions and not let her emotions control her. And I think she steps into the second season with a much more of a level head and maybe more, of a path to go down. I think she was a little lost before and sort of swimming around in her own emotions, and now she's got a little guiding light.
I think Shelby learnt to give in to her impulses more, like her how she feels and how she wants to live her life. She really, allows herself to have that space and freedom to be her authentic self. And I think that was something that was very hard for her to learn, and is still a huge process. Even in season 2, it's a hard, long process, but learning to kind of let go of that, trying to control like every single thing about her image and her lifestyle and like where she is in the world. And I think we see her kind of let those guards down, I guess, and kind of fall into what she wants to do. And it's an interesting and complex journey for sure.
And next we'll have Sabrina.
Hi there, I'm Sabrina from Italy. So I want to know, do you think a Shawnee relationship could help other girls in showing their real feelings?
100%. I think showing any relationship on screen, where especially same-sex relationships, is so important, because it's so hard to find, especially lesbians. I feel like that's so hard to find, and it's so important. I can't imagine there not being a show for someone like a queer kid to watch that they can feel like they can see themselves in and be like, okay, I'm not alone in this. Because sometimes you can feel so alone when you're coming out, or if you haven't come out yet, that's a really isolated feeling for a lot of people. So it's so important to have shows like this that celebrate that as well as normalize it.
Yeah, I mean, Mia just smashed that answer. There's not really much to say.
Next up, we'll have Gabriela.
Hi, I'm Gabriela from Legião dos Heróis, Brazil. So Shawnee is a fan favorite here in Brazil, and what can we expect from the couple this season?
I mean, what can we expect?
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
Well, we know that they've kind of fallen into each other. I think we've seen that. They're sharing clothes. They're really, really classic. But they you definitely see a union there. And that's a connection that we all feel really, really deeply about, and don't want to ignore that. It's something really special.
You'd see them both learning how to love and how to be loved and accept that.
Yes.
And next up, we'll have Mariana.
Hi, girls. So nice to meet you. I have a YouTube channel where I talk about books, movies, and series with sapphic protagonism. And I already watched the series, the second season, and I warned my girls to prepare their hearts for Shawnee this season. So I would like to know, what was your favorite or funniest scene to shoot? I have 2 vying for the top spot on my list, but the one that opens the 8th episode, I think.
Oh yes,
that one.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool scene.
That was a crazy day. I remember me and Erana, we were like, "Oh my, wait, can we talk about this right now?" Okay, maybe not.
I don't know.
Interview's gonna be on next, so.
But I mean, yeah, so many. I mean, every day on set is just like, I feel like it's just such a gift. I'm constantly like, can't believe that my life is real every time I get there and get, it's my job to go to set and work with these people who are like my best friends and create this story. And it's just like the most insane thing. It blows my mind every single time I think about it. I love doing the scene for Dot's birthday that you see a bit of in the trailer, and we're all around the fire. It just felt so kind of juvenile, and
we were so silly that day.
Silly. It was just so silly and fun, and like we were just it was a really fun day.
And I think the scenes that you and I have, there are scenes where we get to, I don't even know if I can say that. The scenes where we laugh and the scenes where we cry they're just as fun because it's like a very real, raw emotions. But we have some really lovely laughter scenes that I look back on so fondly. Like
we don't see on as much in season 1. Hey, Erana.
Yeah.
Like I feel like season 2, there's so much more joy. And obviously there's more of everything else. Like there's a lot of other things. But there is so much joy in season 2, which was really fun to lean into.
And next up, we'll have Martina.
If you could choose a trait of your characters you'd like to have and something of yours you would like to give them, what would them be?
I love that question.
Oh, that's a good question. I would love Shelby's like organizational skills. Like she's like up every morning and she's making her bed and you just know that everything is like exactly where it needs to be because she's so like controls her environment. I think I need a bit of that. I think I'm way more like loose and messy than Shelby. So I'll probably take that. And so I'd probably just give her my security in myself.
I'd want Tony's courage. She's quite a courageous girl. She really goes for it. I quite like that. No, not thinking about things so much. And I'd give her, I don't know. Oh, no, that would be mean. I can't say that. I was going to say my wardrobe, but no, I love what Tony wears. I do love it. I don't know. Yeah. Sorry, I'm really taking a while to think here. I think probably similar to Mia. Just maybe, Tony could be a little more solid in her sense of stuff. So I'll give her a bit of that.
Or your patience, because I feel like you're really patient.
That's a great one.
Yeah.
She needs that too. Patience.
Next up, we'll have Sabrina.
Yes, I'm just curious to know how was the atmosphere on set? I mean, how's the relationship between you girls?
Oh, just fabulous.
I mean, it's just delightful. Every day is such a dream.
It's such a dream. It's honestly unfair. I don't know how we're gonna do anything else after this, to be honest.
I know. It's just the best. It's like you're rolling.
Yeah.
It's every moment is just, there's no tension or like
no fights.
Negative feelings, fights. No, it's just a lot of love.
And we've just been there for each other for so long, like for so long we've just been in each other's lives. We've become like really like a family, truly.
Yeah.
And next up we have Gabriella.
So being stuck in a desert island is really tough, but if you could bring someone with you, for Mia and Erana, not the characters, who would you bring with?
Ooh, I'd bring Erana. Wait,
I was going to say you.
Really? For sure. Because in my head, I'd be like, we survived this on a TV show, babes.
And like we've traveled together, like, we've like shared a tiny apartment for 3 months, like haven't gotten sick of each other yet. It's like, it's perfect.
Yeah, we can do that. We actually can. Seriously.
It's really good.
And next up, we'll have Mariana.
Rana, you are very happy to be able to introduce New Zealand to the girls during the first season shooting. Now you have gone to Australia. Mia, did you take Rana and the rest of the cast to your favorite spots? Can you tell us about it? Some stories about?
Well, I am not from Queensland, so it was very new for me too. And I never really spent so a lot of time there. But I guess like with just like the Australian isms of certain things, was able to be like, yeah. introduced him to, I guess. Oh, yeah. But in terms of the environment, we were all kind of like, I think the people were expecting me to kind of know what I was doing. They're like, what's the same resident? I'm like, I have no idea. I've never been here before in my life. So that was kind of funny.
Yeah,
And
I
next up
remember
we'll
when we were
have-
shooting. Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. Go ahead.
A little anecdote. I mean, yeah, exactly. All the Australian listeners, you got to tell everyone about the drop bears and.
Oh yeah. Who did I do that to? Did I do that to Sarah Pigeon?
Sarah Pigeon, yeah.
With Sarah Pigeon, convinced her that they were like drop bears or whatever that like come out of the sky and like, I don't know. Very, very juvenile. It was a lot of fun.
And next up, we'll have Sarah.
Yeah, and so I don't know if we've covered this already, but watching it does feel like you were actually shooting in pretty extreme conditions. Like this wasn't kind of with a green screen, on a set somewhere. You're like out there on that beach. So what were some of the highs and lows of that? And were there any moments where you thought, oh God, that's just too much? It's like we're actually having to survive on a desert island.
Well, Australia were doing new challenges. Sorry.
Yes.
Because we spent a lot of time in this forest in Mount Tamborine and the Gold Coast. And, there's just new challenges in Australia. There's like leeches and all of those kind of things, that kind of ticks that pop up. But, I mean, it's just the weather, right? Like it can just get so cold and so hot, and the extremities can be so massive. But so different to season one, because season one was like literally on a beach that no one had ever been to before.
Yeah, it was. It's funny. The safety briefings were a lot different in Australia versus New Zealand. Like they were like, "All right, guys, be careful. We got these spiders out today. Been checking for snakes." Da, 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 da. We're like, in New Zealand, it was like, guys, just like don't fall down. Everything is so lovely over in New Zealand, and Australia just seems so like going from New Zealand to Australia. It was like, geez. Anyway, but, yeah.
And next up, we'll have Martina.
So in this new season, we learn about the boys and this new dynamic. But I want to know, how did you react when you first found out that there were gonna be boys on the other island?
I mean, it was such a what moment, but we kind of could see this coming. I mean, at the end of season one, when they see the screen and it says Boys Island, like that was a huge kind of tip off. But when we found out that it was actually going to be happening, it was exciting. I mean, I love how the show moves and evolves and grows and changes and has all these amazing themes that we discuss, but then the story, the circumstances, the environment, it all changes. And I love shows that do that. So I was really excited. Also very excited to see who they cast. I remember being like, who's gonna get it?
When we first got their Instagrams, we were like, who are they going to be?
Oh yeah, we got the Instagrams. We're like stalking everyone.
I think that's what we were most excited about. Like we have formed such beautiful relationships amongst the young women that we have, and then knowing that there was going to be 8 more people that get to come on and we get to meet and spend every day with, so exciting and so much fun. And then also to see what the journey that the writers are going to take them on, because we could kind of maybe imagine what might be in store for us, and then this whole new world was it was just exciting, new opportunity.
And lastly, we'll have Sabrina.
Yes. So what do you hope for your character for the future?
I think I've said this before a while ago, but it's still very true to me. I want to see Shelby just be able to, look at herself in the mirror and smile and feel comfortable with who she is, and allow people to be in her life and not feel like she has to control everything. And I want to see her just have her freedom that she deserves, walking down the street proud, out and proud. And so for her. Yeah.
I I think I want Tony to accept the love that she's given, because she deserves it. She deserves to feel loved. So I want her to feel that in its entirety.
Mm-hmm. And JPI, that is a cut. And that is all the time we have for this roundtable. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you so much.